First and foremost, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Basham, Yahushai, Basham, Rakar, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the brothers that's doing this work in sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Yahya from the James Kingston, Jamaica camp, here with another quick lesson. And we're going to kick it off. This one is called The Condition of the Battle, Man versus Himself. Right? So this is from the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, chapter 7 verse 57 says, Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which man that is born upon the earth shall fight. Because if you know the story, Ezra was having a dialogue with an angel, and the angel expounded to him the way unto the holiest of holies, the way unto victory, the way unto life everlasting. And him tell you that the condition of the battle is this, that good is set against evil, and if the good don't overcome the evil, you're going to suffer because you have lost the battle. But the battle is really within your mind, to fight against yourself, to fight against the corruption that is within you. This is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. It says, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. We don't fight opponents, but we really fight ourselves. When you look into the word principalities, you go back to the Greek.
Strong's G 746,
Arche, which means beginning, origin, the person or thing that commences, the first person or thing in the series, the leader. You understand? You are the first individual you have to conquer to accomplish any feat. To get up out of bed in the morning, you have to conquer the mind that tells you not to get up. To go for a jog, you have to conquer the mindset that tells you not to go and do it. So you are the first person that you have to defeat. And Paul said it best in the book of Romans chapter 7 verse 21. He says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. The mindset that to go against the laws, statutes, and commandments is present within you. At every instant that good comes to your mind to do, there's an opposing force that continues to fight against the righteousness that dwells in you. Paul said it himself. He said, evil is present with me. Right? The evil is to do whatever is opposite to righteousness. When you look into the word evil, it comes from the Greek kakos, which means of a bad nature, base, wrong, wicked, not such as it ought to be. Because the mindset that you're supposed to have is a mindset of upliftment, of spirituality, of righteousness. But because you wouldn't, when you would do those stuff, there's always an opposing force. So as it continues, it says, For I delight in the law of God after the inward man, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. Exactly. The law of sin, bringing you into captivity, man, because within your members dwelleth no good thing. Right? It says back in the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 58, it says that if ye be overcome, if you allow the law of sin to overcome you, he says, ye shall suffer as thou hast said. Because the way of sin is what? Death. Living according to the flesh, living according to a base nature is death. So if you be overcome by the law of sin, by the opposing mindset of righteousness, you shall suffer, as the angel had said unto Ezra. He says, but if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. When you watch the movie Alexander, just to reference a movie, it says when Philip was speaking to his son Alexander in the caves, it says no glory has never come without suffering. When you go into the word suffering, it means to endure. It means to come to a point of endure, to make hard, man. Right? When you embrace suffering for righteousness' sake, then you're going to gain the glory. But if you be overcome by the mindset of sin, you're going to suffer perpetually, man. Right? Back in Romans chapter 7 verse 23 said, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into the captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? That's a question that Paul asked. Who shall deliver him from the body of this death? Because within this this realm of life, we have to consistently be battling ourselves. We have to consistently be battling the mindset of doing wrong, battling the mindset of being lazy, battling the mindset of being inactive in this truth. Right? Verse 25, I thank God through Yahushua our Lord. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of God, but with the flesh, the law of sin. Right? So with the mind, you have to constantly empower yourself with the law of God. You have to constantly reject the law of the flesh, which is the law of sin. Right? In verse 14 of the same chapter, it says, for we know that the law is spiritual. We know that the law is spiritual first. You understand? But I am carnal, sold under sin. So if you're carnal, you're not going to see the benefits and the spirituality of the laws that the Heavenly Father has presented unto us. Right? If you're carnal, you're easily swayed by sin. You're easily subjected to its bonds. Verse 15, for that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do. This is a constant battle, man. You have men who always consistently doing evil, and at the end of the day, they regret it. So once you have a righteous mindset, doing wrong is not a pleasant thing unto you. So what does that mean? It means that you're supposed to strive through the difficulty of putting your body into subjection, to lead it out of the way of doing wrong, so that as you continuously grow in the spirit, in that righteous mind frame, you're going to be better and better as the days goes by. Verse 16 says, if then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more that I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me, because we are of a corruptible state right now. We are as angels cast down into the chains of darkness, man. Our body, our fleshly mind is as chains of darkness. You understand? So to do that which you should not, is of the flesh, man, is of the sin that dwelleth within this flesh, within these chains of darkness. But to do good is of the Heavenly Father. Zin, which is a battle. That is the condition of the battle in this time that we're having right now. That's why when you walk, you have to walk is a very straight path to acquire salvation. The word straight there, S-T-R-A-I-T, means a position of difficulty. It's a very difficult path to obtain glory. It's a very difficult path to obtain life. Right? And it tells you, it says, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse, start at verse 8. Slacker. Verse 11. It says, because for their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, because the world was made for was made for pleasure. But because of the sin of men, right? The entrances into pleasure has been made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. Right? Because of sin, the position that we have to face to acquire the glory, the salvation, the preeminence has been made narrow and full of travail. Right? Continuing, it says, then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils, and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. You have to battle the flesh. Battle the structure of your mind. Constantly beat it down with the strength of the Spirit. That's why the elders and apostles continues to encourage us to do videos, man. Do at least three videos a week. And what that is doing is preparing us to basically put on the whole armor of God. Zin? This is Ephesians chapter 6 verse 13. It says, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, and having having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. These words that is written within the scriptures, there are instructions to guide us, men, to be a light unto our feet, a lamp unto our paths, to be a sword to cut asunder anything that comes up against spirit of righteousness. Dwelling within the word of the Heavenly Father is to uplift us into an higher frame of mind, a more spiritual frame of mind, man. Zin, to withstand the fiery dart of the wicked, because surely, man, you can see the fiery darts coming at you. It is everywhere in our society. The music, the television, the women, all of these things are as fiery the darts of the wicked, man, to bring you down to a base mindset, to influence the flesh, Zin, to influence the carnality that is within you, man. Zin, so you have to basically harm yourself to withstand the evil day, because we are living in a evilous and perilous times, man. Right? So back in 2nd Ezra chapter 7 verse 14, for if then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, saying, Thou art but a corruptible man? And why art thou moved, whereas thou art but mortal? Why hast thou not considered in thy mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Nevertheless, with the righteous shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered the straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. So if you're righteous men, you shall suffer straight things, and hope for wide. But if you're wicked, you're going to suffer as well, but shall not see the wide. So righteous or wicked, both shall suffer straight things. Why not be righteous and have a hope for the wide? Have a hope for the glory that is to come. The conquering of the flesh. Mastering yourself. Battling day in and day out, man. Arm yourself with the word of the Heavenly Father. To conquer all with the word of truth. And with that, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, Bashem Makar Kwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Shalom.